Hi everyone, I'm Gary and this is my second YouTube video on my channel. I hope I can do until I don't have to remember how many YouTube videos I do lah. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about another project in Singapore that is already launched. Launched start of the year, around 20th January 2024. And the project is the Arcady at Boon Keng. When I look at the name of the project, right, I also try to find out what does the name signifies or what does it mean. So when I went to search a bit, so the Arcady is referring to Arcadia. So Arcadia, which means to designate a place of rustic innocence and simple, quiet pleasure. So later you can reference this to the design of Arcady. I would think that, or I feel that when I look at it, it actually stands out in the whole of the Upper Serangoon Boon Keng area stretch, and I feel that it is one of the interesting project that is freehold and yet within 6 to 7 minutes walk to the MRT station. And it is quite rare because if you are a northeast liner, you'll know that it is quite difficult to find a project in Boon Keng area itself just within 2 to 3 minutes walk. The nearest one probably is 8 Riversuites. So this would actually be a game changer, I feel, in this area of freehold condominiums. Okay, so let's go through what to discuss today about the Arcady. So for the Arcady, we'll definitely talk about the project information, the location, supply analysis, price analysis. I also typo error. Price analysis, upside and exit strategies, and of course I'll come with a bit of summary and then a unit recommendation for you viewers. Okay, so number one, we look at the project information. So the Arcady at Boon Keng, if you drive along Upper Serangoon Road towards Potong Pasir, you'll definitely pass by this project. Okay, it is also an en bloc project, and it is en bloc by the developer KSH Ultra Unity Private Limited, a joint venture between KSH Holding, SLB Development and Holy Group. So this group of developers, they are local developers and they have done projects like Affinity, they have done projects like Riverfront before. Okay, description, it is a single block of 24 stories elevated with one landscape deck, 2 sky terraces and 1 roof terrace. As you know, freehold plots in Singapore can only mostly be acquired by en bloc, so the plot size generally is not big. Therefore, developers have to build upwards. And I think when I look at Arcady, the artist impression, it feels very much like a home garden or a garden in the sky. And hence, I feel that it will stand out in the area whereby it's littered with a lot of very old freeholds that are easily 20, 25, 27 years, which we will touch on later in this presentation. Okay, so area-wise, it's also in District 12, City Fringe, or rest of Central Area. Address 2 St. Barnabas Lane. And tenure is freehold. Land size is 54,476.55 square feet. Okay, number of units, 172 units. Expected TOP will be 31st December 2028, which is about 3 years from now, thereabouts. Okay, and the estimated car park lot will be 172, 1-to-1 lot, and there's 3 accessible lots. Okay, let's dive into the location. As I mentioned earlier, if you can see from the screen, it is about a 6 to 8 minutes walk to Boon Keng MRT station. Okay, and in fact, you do not have to cross any road. It is along the same side. Exit A, you enter, you go into Boon Keng MRT station. And this is probably the only freehold that you can walk to Boon Keng MRT, because the next nearest one is Regent Residence. And I have brought a buyer to look at Regent Residence. We got the place there, and eventually he also said that the walking distance from Regent is a bit further as compared to being nearer to Boon Keng MRT. And of course, anything else at St. Michael Road, you will definitely have to, either your condo provides a feeder bus or you have to take a bus down to Potong Pasir instead. Of course, the next nearest one is 8 Riversuites. It is a leasehold, probably the latest project in this whole area, and also within walking distance to Boon Keng MRT. Okay, and the nearest amenities wise, okay, right across from Arcady, there are shop houses that have food options that you can look for. If not, most of them should be going down towards Bendemeer View to get their groceries done, to get, I believe there's also a McDonald's over there, and there's also a wet market further down from Bendemeer View. All right, so this is the location. If we look up, this would be how from the Arcady looks like. There is two directions. It faces north and south. So when it looks towards the north, it's actually towards down the Potong Pasir, Woodleigh, Serangoon direction. It looks over to the Kallang River also, and also where Poise and St Andrew School is. Okay, if you have the south facing, which is more interesting because it's city fringe, you'll look towards CBD. You should be able to see Marina Bay Sands on a very high floor, 24th, or even at the roof terrace. Okay, you'll be able to see the other part of Kallang River, the sports hub, and likely with this facing, you should be able to see National Day fireworks. Okay, so right on the site itself, as well as the building height, if you can see on the left side is the Arcady. It is 24 story. It's already elevated with another 3-story upwards. So essentially, your floor level we should be looking at is around 27, or if you are choosing a third floor, it should be around level 6 kind of height. Okay, comparatively to the nearby condominiums like the recent one, Region Residence, as well as Eight Riversuites, we are almost on par or just slightly higher. Okay, so being elevated, having the first unit elevated also means that you do not have a patio area. Okay, it also means that you are right above the ground, so that you are also kind of away from the traffic lah, and away from people walking on the streets. Because not to forget that generally freehold plots are smaller, especially along Upper Serangoon Road area. Okay, so this would be the site plan. From the site plan, you can see the different in-unit mix. Okay, they have ranged from 1, 2, 2 plus study, 3, 3 premium, 3 plus study, to 4 plus study, 4 premium, as well as a penthouse unit. Okay. So so you have the swimming pool on the left side, as well as the kids pool area. Later there will be some artist impression, you can have a look. If you dive into the unit mix directly, for 1 bedroom there is 11 units, for 2 bedrooms there is 38 units, for 2 plus study there is 38 units as well, for 3 bedrooms there is 21 units, for 3 premium there is 31 units, for 3 plus study there is 21 units, for 4 bedroom there is 9 units, 4 bedroom there's only 1 unit, and for 4 plus study there is 9 units, of which, since this project is launched already, the 1 plus study is fully sold out. So the next starting unit available is from the 2 bedroom onwards. And you can see also on the right side the estimated monthly maintenance fee given by developer. Okay. Now we look at the artist impression or the architect impression. You can see that it is a game changer because number one, it is very much well landscaped with a lot of foliage, and then there is also an elevation of the first unit above the ground, and this gives a very overall kind of atas feel. I can visualize, because if you go down towards that row, right, there is no other projects that is similar to Arcady, except for maybe Region Residences, which is about 7 to 8 years old. Okay, right now we talk about the supply analysis in that area. Okay, it should be the first new launch after the past 10 years, and if we look at within about 500 meters of the Arcady, you can see on the map itself, we have quite a few old condos that TOP 1997, 1996, or even 1994. For example, St. Francis Court, which is 29 years old, St. Francis Lodge, 25 years old, the Richmond, 24 years old, the Aberdeen, 25 years old, St. Michael Place, 26 years old. Only Regent View and Eight Riversuites that are more recent, that is around 7 years old. And later I will take you down to have a comparison on the overall outlook, because just now I have showed you how Arcady look like, how the artist impression, how they redo the landscaping, and how they elevate the condo so that it has a very modern kind of vibe, as compared to subsequently I'll show you in the next slide. you can see the difference in the older condos. Looks familiar? So this is the 90s kind of look, very built up with not much of facilities, with not much of any landscaping involved. And I feel that sometimes it is a bit of a turn off to some of the buyers because I mean, having spent close to maybe 2 million or even a bit more than 2 million to get a bigger unit there. However, there's not much of a homecoming kind of feel. And I also ever heard of is like if you do housewarming at a very old condo, sometimes you feel like, wow, the newer condo actually gives you a very nice showmanship to your new house as compared to the older ones. But of course, some people choose older ones because they want the size that can fit their budget. Okay, and that we can have a little discussion down later on. Okay, so this is Richmond. So this is how San Francisco Lodge look like. Okay, very old, very built up. Okay, fairly well maintained. Anyway, in Singapore, most of the condos need to go through repaint work every around 5, 7, 8 years. So fairly looks quite okay, decent. Except that they don't have in the rooms don't have a full height window per se, because this is the older design. Like for example, San Francisco Lodge is a 1994 kind of a TOP unit. Okay, further down we can see is Aberdeen in the 1998. There is a bit of change. There is more windows. The windows are getting slightly longer because this creates a bit more premium feel. Okay, and then St. Michael Place also 1997. You can see that the build is quite similar. Okay, but of course still old. And finally, if you look at the more recent supply, like I mentioned, Region Residence 2016. This is actually very interesting. Even though the supply is more recent, I realized that during this era of TOP condominiums, right, they all have something in common, which is called the bay window. It is something that is very hard to plan around, even though the size of the house might be 700 to 800 or even 900 square feet for a 2-bedroom. However, because of the bay window, it takes up, I feel, about 2 square meters of space, and it is quite difficult to reno around it. So some of the buyers are still a bit hesitant when it comes to this kind of design. So in short, later you can see from Arcady, which is from away from this era, they removed away the bay window concept. Okay, so we have Region Residences. We have one St. Michael, which is also 2009. Pretty new, looks fairly well maintained. And finally, a leasehold 8 Riversuites, which is the latest. Of course, this 8 Riversuites doesn't come with bay window. It has a bit more modern design, except that it is a leasehold concept, which in a freehold area, technically speaking, it is also better to choose something that is freehold, in my opinion. Okay, so as compared to Arcady, you can see how it will stand out even in terms of the color contrast. You have a bit of a more lasting contemporary look as compared to surrounding. And this actually complements into the newer HDB. If you are familiar with Boon Keng, if you are familiar with McNair area, HDB has injected quite a few new clusters into the area, and I think this condo will sit well into this influx of new families into Boon Keng area. And then of course one key thing that I always, even in most of my home tour videos or even my videos, I also realize that buyers that stays in a particular township, particular estate, they try to upgrade within the same estate also, because of familiarity, because being near to kids' school, because near their parents, or just because they are already living in city fringe. It is very hard for them to enjoy such a convenience to get to town, and then you ask them to move backwards down the MRT line, unless they want a very big house, or maybe they want to go for a landed. They have to move back towards, probably in such a case, Kovan, in such a case, Hougang area, for instance. Okay, so if you look at the supply analysis over here, I compared with the condos within around 500 meters to Arcady. And also, I took out Woodley Residence, which is also very recently TOP, 1-year-old condo, just to have a reference to the number of units over there. And if you look at the right side of my table, you can also see a bit of the transacted prices that is happening already at Woodley Residences. Okay, so if you look at number 1, Woodley Residences, TOP 2023, 1-year-old, 667 square feet, relatively big condominium, nice facilities. PSF average over there is 2,620 PSF. Okay, the 2-bedroom transacted there is already 1.77 million. The 3 bedrooms there are already 2.510 million. And then the 4-bedroom there, in the last 6 months, there's no transaction, which means that everyone is buying to stay. And I can only find the most recent one, which was bought on a new sale period that is in 2022 from the developer, is 3.268 million already transacted. Okay, moving downwards, we have 3 residences, freehold, 2021 TOP, around 3 years old. Also a small development, 117 units, average PSF 2,126. There is 1 bedroom there transacted at 850,000. 2 bedrooms there transacted at 1.39 million. 3 bedrooms there transacted at 2.08 million. There is no 4-bedroom transaction or 5-bedroom transaction in that area itself. Okay, one thing to take note about 3 residents is that, if I don't recall wrongly, the layout tend to be a bit more not widely accepted, and also the location is way further down, right smack in the middle of Potong Pasir MRT and Boon Keng MRT. So it is a bit of like you don't know whether you want to walk upwards towards Potong Pasir or walk downwards towards Boon Keng. I think that is what some of the buyers there or some of the residents there might face some of the issues. And henceforth, generally speaking, I think this product, 3 residences, would serve well to make Arcady look like a better product in this whole area. Okay, so on and so forth. You can see 8 Riversuites transacted prices: 1 bedroom 850,000, 2 bedroom 1.45 million, 3 bedroom 2 million, and a 4 bedroom 2.8 million for a leasehold property in that area. It actually signifies one thing to me, is that there is a price acceptance even though it's leasehold. It might be a slightly bigger layout, but there is also a demand for 4 bedrooms in this area, given that people are willing to pay for. And it is not easy. I won't be surprised to find a 4-bedroom in Upper Serangoon area at this Boon Keng stretch, especially if you do not want to spend too much money to renovate the older houses. For example, like St. Michael Place, the Aberdeen, the Richmond, St. Francis Lodge, or even St. Francis Court, because they are easily 32 years old, they're easily 27 years old. I can imagine a lot of renovation is required. And despite that, if you look at the 3-bedroom transactions in these older condos, they are also fairly quite high, I would say, around close to 2 million, 1.8 million, 2 million kind of price accepted in these old condos. Okay, so interestingly, since Arcady is already launched, there are units available and the price is already available. It's not like a pre-launch kind of consideration. So straightforward, you can see for Arcady, which is going to TOP in 2028, around close to just slightly less than 4 years away. Okay, at 172 units. My PSF is actually very close to a leasehold PSF. In fact, lower than a leasehold PSF transacted at Woodley. Granted, Woodley Residence has a very good convenience, just right above the mall. But the amount of premium that is being paid right above the mall, right above the MRT, but the amount of premium being called for is really a lot more than what you can get for something new, something that is freehold, and something that is about 6 to 8 minutes walk to Boon Keng MRT. Okay, so for example, like the cheapest 2-bedroom at Arcady is actually around 1.785 million. The cheapest 3-bedroom at Arcady, 969 square feet, relatively good size, is $2.39 million, just slightly below 2.4 million. And of course, the 4-bedroom is at 3.701 million. It is on the high side, I feel, because of the size of the 4-bedroom. It's around 1,400 square feet, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so this is the supply analysis, what is in this area. Next on, we move on is to the pricing analysis. So if you look at the pricing analysis, I always like to look at using HProp land lens. It gives a very good idea to buyers, to us as agents. How much profit margin is the developer looking at? What is the break-even price? And I feel that this is a good tool, just as a form of preparing ourselves. What kind of prices can we expect? Okay, so if we were to look at it, the break-even price is 2,446. At a 10% profit margin, the developer will sell around 2,470 PSF. In fact, just now you can see that my PSF is around 2,500-ish. So developer is actually hovering around a 10 to 15% kind of profit margin. And this is, I feel personally, relatively low as compared to, for example, you can see the past case like 2021, Pasir Ris 8. One day the price increased 8 times. I think that signals a very high profit margin to the developer. Whereas for Arcady, for a freehold product, the developer is still quite keen to move the unit, in my opinion. Okay, so likewise, just now I have mentioned, using the same chart from the supply analysis, you can see on the right side what kind of prices have been transacted. If we focus on the 3 bedrooms in this area, I would say that definitely something new, freehold, definitely commands a premium in that area, and henceforth there are cheaper options like the older condos. However, I always share with my buyers is that when you go into the resale market, we must also consider the amount of time and renovation we have to put in to redo the house. A 3 bedroom at the older condo, say for example the Richmond or even the Aberdeen, you can get for $2 million straight up easy. However, because the condo is a lot older, the amount of renovation you have to put in can be easily 6-figure, 150 to 200,000. But that's not just the thing. Having served the resale market, also I'm aware that the amount of time and effort that you have to go through to spend to liaise with the contractor to do up the renovation can be a bit of painful, I would say, and that is not bearing if you need to rent another place just to put up so that your renovation can be done in the next 4 to 6 months if it's very extensive. So these are little costs that some of the buyers might not realize until they get themselves into it, and hence why sometimes some of the resale buyers, they outflow to look at the something new, because at the end of the day, yes, they might have to rent somewhere, or they put up with their in-laws place just for the time being of the other 3 years. However, they get a brand new product, there is warranty from the developer, and then they do not need to hack or remove anything. They just need to build up whatever they need. The move-in is a lot more seamless as compared to a resale product in the market. And hence, it is always depending on what you need, then we'll advise the kind of product that fits your requirement. Okay, so resale transaction in this area has crossed 2 million, which is generally quite safe because my 3 bedroom there is looking at around 2.4 million, just slightly below 2.4 million. Okay, if we benchmark the pricing analysis to what has launched recently, the very exciting products like Chuan Park, like Emerald Katong, or even at Nava Grove, you can see that actually the Arcady presents slightly value for money kind of pricing. Right on, if I were to zoom in, if you look at Chuan Park, what is available now, there's still some units available now. The 2 bedrooms available now is already at $1.925 million, which is at least 150 or 200k more than what is available at Arcady. Just because it is 2 minutes walk to the MRT, I'm going to pay 200,000 more? I don't think so. So I think the Arcady still presents quite an interesting option, and especially if you look at Arcady itself, it is a RCR product, whereas Chuan Park is a OCR product. Okay, and also the 3 bedrooms that is available at the Arcady 969 square feet is 2.4 thereabouts million, whereas at Chuan Park, even though the size is slightly bigger, it is already going at 300,000 more, or 200, or at least 200,000 more at 2.620867 million dollars. Very long. Okay, of course, if you move on to the next segment of 4 bedrooms, if you notice, I don't really mention so much of the Arcady 4 bedroom because they are at a quantum of $3.7 million, which to me is a bit on the high side, as you can compare to Chuan Park, it is only at 3.3 million, and at 3.7 for sorry, at 3.7 for the Arcady, we can easily get a 5-bedroom at Chuan Park at 3.8 million, around 100,000 more. So I think if we were to look at Arcady later in my recommendation, you'll notice that I'll talk about the 2 and 3 bedrooms and not so much about the 4 bedrooms, because there are better options in this area for a 4 at that quantum of 3.7 million. Okay, so if you look at Emerald at Katong, which is also a RCR product, TOP in 2027, and it's a sellout product, people are already willing to pay $1.9 million for a 2-bedroom. So at 1.785 or even 1.8, I think Arcady freehold, close to the MRT, City Fringe is still a very safe product to look at. And also the 3 bedrooms at Emerald Katong is already at 2.5 million, also a 969 square feet unit, similar size, and it is cheaper by 100,000 at the Arcady, or slightly more than 100,000 for the Arcady. Likewise, the 4 bedrooms at the Arcady is still on the high side at 3.7 million as compared to Emerald Katong, which is only at $3 million or even $3.1 million. So similarly, with a budget of 3.7 at the Arcady for 4 bedroom, you can get a 5 bedroom at Emerald of Katong. Moving on, the next one is Nava Grove. Same likewise, Nava Grove RCR project, City Fringe. People are willing to pay for 2 bedroom at 1.901 million. The Arcady is still around 1.8 million. I think it's still a fair product to look at. And 3 bedroom at 2.4 million as compared to 2.5 that's been transacted. And on top of that, leasehold product for Nava, for Emerald or Katong, I think if you can get a freehold that is slightly cheaper, I guess it's a no-brainer, correct? However, likewise, the 4 bedrooms at Arcady is a bit on the higher side. It is around $3.7 million, whereas at Nava Grove, you can get it for $3.1 million. In fact, at 3.7, maybe you top up, you can push a bit more to 5 bedroom at Nava Grove. And finally, the next and upcoming exciting product at the Ori, which is at Toa Payoh, adjacent to Boon Keng. Okay, you can see that, I mean, there's no price matrix out from developer because it is still pre-launch. So if you do a 2,800 slightly bullish kind of comparison on the perch on the higher floor of Ori, which is a 40-story building, you can see that their 2 bedrooms will easily be $1.898 million, considering the 2-bed 1-bath layout. And then the 3 bedrooms, considering the smallest one, 850 square feet, which is really smaller than most of the 3 bedrooms available, even though it's post-harmonized. It is similar price to a freehold 969 square feet at the Arcady. And finally, the 4 bedrooms at the Ori is definitely looking better than the one at the Arcady, because it should be around 3.3, 3.4 or even $3.5 million depending on the floor level that you picked. Okay, so this is how I look at for price analysis. So in short, I feel that comparing to the recent launches, if you are looking for a 2 bedroom, if you are looking for a 3 bedroom, if you are looking for a freehold product that is 6-7 minutes walk to the MRT, nestled in a matured township, that you can get to town in a mere within 10 minutes. And also, if you want to go towards go down towards the northeast direction, it is also way within the proximity. I think the Arcady is an interesting product to look at, and I can also foresee in the future down the road the upgraders coming from Punggol, Sengkang, Hougang, Serangoon, because they will be trying to look for a product along the MRT line, and they realize that there is no comparable new product down the MRT line except for Woodleigh Residences. If they go down a bit further, they will hit the Arcady. So, and henceforth, you can see why transactions at Woodleigh Residences is generally quite strong, because most people are used to the newer layouts, are used to a seamless move-in, and I feel that they do not mind parting a bit of the premium from the sale of the profits from the sale of their house to buy into something that is generally newer. What more if it's a freehold product? Okay, price analysis. I think most important today, a lot of clients, a lot of my buyers would want to know whether is there an increase in the price from day one, because we are about 12 months away from the launch day at 20th of January. But first, let's look at what is sold. How many is sold so far? Then from there, we can roughly benchmark whether developer has increased price or not. This is based on my experience. I will not speak for any developers. This is just how I look at it. And if we look at the chart right now, it is 34% sold, very good. It crosses the 30% mark, and there is still 65% units available to go. Okay, so if I were the developer, I would definitely want to try to hit at least another 80 to 90% sold before I reconsider whether I want to increase the price significantly. Because generally developers are fighting now, I feel, also to clear some stocks because of the competition upcoming in 2025, where there's more launches coming up. So if you can see, by unit type, there is no more one bedroom available. In fact, if you are able to buy a one bedroom at the Arcady, I think you are quite fortunate. Your queue number must be quite good because there's only 11 units available, and it also seemingly presents a very low supply option in this area, because other than Region Residences, Eight Riversuites that has a one bedroom, I believe the rest of the smaller older condos does not present a one bedroom option. Okay, then the two bedrooms, we have 7 units available. 30 of them is sold. Okay, 2 plus study, there is 36 units available. Okay, the 3 bedroom has 12 units available. The 3 premium has 27 units available out of the 31 units. The 3 premium plus study has 18 units available out of the 21. And the 4 bedroom plus study has 9 units available. And the 4 bedroom premium sold, there's only 1 unit available. And the penthouse, there is 2 units available. If you notice, like my train of thought just now was the 4 bedroom is a bit on the steeper end, and hence I think it will still take a while for the 4 bedrooms to be sold at a 3.7 onwards kind of range. Okay. So comparing to day one launch on the around 20th January 2024 to today, now the 2 bedroom that is available is around $1.851 million. Okay, and then it is quite close, slightly on the higher side as compared to what is sold on the first day, 20th January. You can see it's 1.809, 1.816, and 1.844 on various levels. So I think, if I'm not wrong, it definitely looks like the developer has increased the price slightly in the tens of thousands of range, and not in the hundreds of thousands of range yet. Okay. And then if you look at the 2 plus study, what is available now starting from is 1.951, and what is transacted has been 1.987 and 1.968. This signals that there is still there's probably not much price increase for the 2 plus study. As you can see, if we tie in back to the units available, right, the 2 plus study still has 36 units available out of the 38. Okay, and next up we look at the 3 compact. This is also quite interesting. 3 compact starting from is 2.390 million, and the day one sold, the prices accepted is 2.458, 2.478, and 2.498. Seemingly the developer also didn't increase the price for the 3 bedroom compact. For the 3 bedroom premium, likewise, the developer probably kept the price as it is close to the first day launch, because what we have now is $2.686 million, whereas what has been transacted at level 15 is $3 million, level 23 is $3.105 million. Now, we look at the 3 premium plus study. The starting from price right now we have available is $3.159 million. Whereas what is transacted is 3.133, 3.111, and $3.303 million. So seemingly, the developer probably didn't change any much of the pricing for the 3 bedroom premium plus study. So if you are looking for a project that has still the first day kind of pricing, the phase 1 kind of pricing, I think the Arcady seems to have what is being able to offer. But of course, don't tell so many people lah, because if they never watch my video, they won't know. Okay, finally, we look at what is some of the upside potential. Having talked about the pricing analysis, now we look at what is some of the upside potential and exit strategies that we can look at for the Arcady. I always like to see whether is there any price gap as compared to the nearby new resale, and then later we compare to what has been transacted in the area itself. If you look at the nearby newer resale, just TOP one, we have Woodley Residence. I also picked out Jadescape, which is fairly new, 2 years old. You can see the price acceptance in that area. A 2-bedroom, respectively at Woodley and Jadescape, is already 1.77 and 1.725 respectively, and Arcady we have something at around 1.785 to 1.8 kind of million kind of range. I think generally it's not easy to find such a product that the new project freehold is similar or close to price as a resale project leasehold. Usually leasehold, most people will have the concept that it tends to be 20% cheaper. However, now things has caught up, and it makes the freehold product looks a lot more attractive. Okay, I hope developers see this presentation won't go and increase price lah. Because the data here actually can help them. Anyway, coming back. Okay, so at the three bedroom range, likewise at Woodley Residence at Jadescape, they have tested at 2.5 million. They have transacted at 2.1 million. Given Arcady still have product at just below 2.4 million, I think it is fairly, in fact, quite value for money. However, for the 4-bedroom, I think at Arcady, likewise, again, it is still a bit on the premium side. Just to top it up, I would feel that because if you look at St. Michael area, it is also littered with landed properties in that area. So the next comparable would be what is the price of the landed in that area itself. If you reach out to me personally, we can have a discussion on this. I have yet to do a deep dive on the landed prices in St. Michael, in the Boon Keng area. So maybe if there is a justifiable premium difference, say for example, if the landed in that area for a 4-bedroom, you reconstruct and all in easily costs you about 4.5 million to even 4.8 or 4.9 million. And henceforth, both freehold and Arcady is still brand new. It generally makes Arcady looks a bit more value for money. But of course, this is up to another discussion. Feel free to reach out to me via WhatsApp or the link below, and we can have a discussion on how to look at 4 bedrooms at the Arcady. So another interesting thing that I like to present to you in the past 5 years around Arcady 500 meters range, you can see that these are some of the condos that we have discussed before, and they all yield a positive profitable transaction. So I would say that this signifies to me that there is a certain demand for our housing options, especially in the next slide. If I can show you also this part here, this is more important, that ties into the demand of from the new HDB clusters in the Arcady area. In fact, HDB has been actively trying to rejuvenate the whole of McNair, the whole of Bendemeer, as well as Upper Boon Keng area with new HDBs that are towering easily 40 stories. A lot of units over there, and easily this when they transact 4 HDBs, they are at 1 million, 1.07 million, 1.1 million, and this actually forms a very strong HDB pool of domestic demand upgraders for condominiums within this same row as the HDB. Okay, so this will be our domestic demand and how I look at it for the upside and the exit strategy. And finally, I also like to do a bit of comparison with similar attributes to the Arcady. Condo that's just TOP'd, not a lot of units, near the MRT, and also surrounded by quite a fair bit of older condos. For example, if we look at the link at Beauty World, okay, the name got some similarity to Arcady at Boon Keng. If you look at the profitability of even the smallest unit, 2-bedroom, they already yield 318,000 profit. 797 could be also a 2-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, yield 400,000 in profitability. For a small project to have such a profitability, I think it signals to me that nowadays buyers buyers' price acceptance is there, that's for sure. Number two, they want something new and they don't mind a smaller project, maybe as long as it's not 10, 20, 30 units. It is in the hundreds of unit range they can accept, and they also don't mind paying a bit for convenience. Okay. Same likewise, if we were to look at the next recent condo that TOP, Foret at Bukit Timah. So guys, I think one thing I want to say is that if you buy something that has the name at the location, maybe have very good profitability lah. For example, Arcady at Boon Keng. Okay. Likewise, Foret also just a TOP, slightly more units. It's a bigger plot of freehold, surrounded by older freeholds as well. If you're familiar with Beauty World area, they also yield quite generous profit with a holding period of 3-4 years maximum. For example, you can see a 2-bedroom there, 721 square feet on the second row, yield 313. I feel that 313,000. I feel that this also signals to me that buyers these days, they want something new. They do not want to go through the hassle of renovation like I mentioned earlier. And also the whole overall vibe when you go into a new condo, I guess you guys must really try and really feel the difference when you view an old condo and then you go and view something that is just TOP. There is quite a significant difference. Even though the size of the condo is significantly is also very much different. I mean, the size of the apartment is very much different. Okay, so having said that, why I picked this, I would say that this at least gives us an idea that it has been tested and it is already been transacted that a new condo freehold, even though it is in an area that has a lot of old freehold condos, as long as we are generally quite near the MRT. Foret is not near the MRT, it's about 2 bus stops away. It is still able to generate a certain amount of profitability when it TOPs and when buyers can come in and enjoy the whole feel of the project. Okay, so this is the final part of my upside and exit strategy. Finally, point number 6, which is the summary and the recommendation. I always like to look at the unit selection and the unit type comparison, so that at least as an agent with my experience, how can I better assist you in the decision making, and also as a buyer, how do you look and spot value purchases. For example, if you look at the 2-bedroom and the 2-bedroom plus study, if you notice, this is the 2 layout. On the left side, it is a 2-bedroom. On the right side is a 2 plus study. The study is from the entrance area here. It is just adjacent to the kitchen. It can also form into a storage area, a helper's quarter, or however you want to look at it. It is a very flexible space. Then moving forward, it is also a dumbbell layout, like the 2-bedroom kind of concept. Okay, and the master room is on the left, and the other bedroom is on the right. Okay, it also comes with an enclosable kitchen that is very similar to the 2-bedroom layout. But the key thing I want to point out today is, if you look at the pricing that is available for the units that is available, the 2-bedroom, 678 square feet on a high floor is asking for $1.933 million. The 2-bedroom plus study, 764 square feet, almost 90 square feet bigger, on a lower floor is asking for $1.943 million, which means to say there is a 100K difference between a 2 plus study, which is slightly more expensive, 10K more, than the 2-bedroom. Essentially, which one would you pick? Just paying 10K more, you get a bigger unit size. And on top of that, if you notice, if I were to go down to the PSF, the 2-bedroom at a high floor will be commanding 2,800 XX PSF. Whereas the 2 plus study should be at 2,500 XX PSF. Now, which one will you pick at this juncture? A low floor, bigger unit, or a high floor, smaller unit? This I leave it to you to decide. Moving on to the next unit layout, which is the 3-bedroom. I will actually have very strong, I would say, I actually more biased. I would say I'm more biased towards the 3-bedroom compact, because you can see from the screen itself, the 3-bedroom plus study layout is regular. However, the pricing is really too much on the high side. Whereas the 3-bedroom premium, the layout is really something that is very new in the market. Later I'll run through with you. And even though the pricing is around 2.6, kind of comparable to something that you can see 3-bedroom premium at Chuan Park at EOK. However, the layout wise, I don't think I would recommend this itself lah. Okay, so if you look at the 3-bedroom compact, come in foyer area, yes, of course there's a bit of wasted space, but of course you can also convert this space into storage, into your shoe cabinet. Come in, kitchen is enclosed with a window for natural ventilation, quite regular, like a much similar to HDB upgrader kind of or EC upgrader kind of concept. So they can still accept. On the left side is the dining, on the right side, if you move forward, is the living area and then the balcony. Okay size, not too big. Next up is the rooms. I think the rooms are are smart in the sense that it is actually kind of like a dumbbell shape with the common bedrooms on either side of the master room entrance. So this reduces your hallway space smaller, and as such, that's why they can maximize the space of the room into around 10 square meters, and the master room with the bathroom at around 20 square meters. Okay, and also this layout allows you to have a full height window for all the rooms. This is quite an interesting layout, and most importantly, it is, I feel, priced right at around $2.4 million. It is very comparable to what is already transacted, what has been already accepted in the market, and on top of that, it has a freehold status, and that, of course, technically should command a premium, but it is not yet being loaded into the current asking price. Can you imagine if it's the last 2 units available or the last 3 units available, what kind of premium the developer were to load it maybe 2 years later from now? And if it is transacted 2 years later from now, that would be what you stand to gain if you spot the right project and the right unit at the Arcady. Okay, so next up, you look at the 3+ study layout. Very premium. Okay, maybe I should not talk about 3+ study layout. I should look at the 3 premium layout first. And you guys can see what I'm trying to say. When you come in from the foyer entrance, you are greeted by your dining space. Even though it comes with a window, this layout is very, very new to the market. Then if you walk past your kitchen, it goes to your living space and your balcony. So this kind of segment or section of the dining and living space, I have not seen it yet. Maybe in the more premium housing like Orchard, you know, the size is really huge. They have 2,000, 3,000 kind of space. They can do such segmentation. However, for a housing area, this is fairly new, and I think it will be a test to the resale market whether is there an acceptance for this kind of layout. Okay, whereas of course the rest still feels quite regular. Okay, so you have your bedroom, you turn left from your living room, you have your third bedroom, you have a master room, and in fact your second bedroom is generally a lot bigger than compared to the 3-bedroom compact. Okay, so to me, I think it is a test. It will be a test. It will be a slightly risk if we get ourselves into this layout. Then again, if you are buying to stay, I think maybe you can do something about it. Reduce the size of the kitchen, rotate the glass panel to the other side, and then maybe so that it's streamlined out and make the living and dining space a bit more connected. And it will probably be able to make the whole house look a lot bigger. And not just that, maybe your entrance of the kitchen, you shift it over to where the sink or where the cabinet has to be lah. So there's a bit of a re-maneuvering of the original layout needs to be done to make this 3 premium probably stand out a bit more in the market. But for sure, the room size will definitely stand out. 11 square meters, 10 square meters for a common room is sort of unseen of, and this is probably comparable to the older condos in this area, and that is what probably the thought process of the developer must be like. I want to sell this product, it must champion, and then it must probably have 1 or 2 attributes of the apartment that stands out compared to the resale in this area. Okay, finally, the 3 plus study layout, definitely very nice, very well decorated by the developer. Okay, walk in, a wide frontage. Walk in, even though your foyer is a bit on the longer side, the walkway foyer is on the longer side, but this allows you to have a wide frontage layout, and a wide frontage layout instead of the typical wide frontage layout like this, instead of a typical portrait layout, actually makes the whole house looks a lot more grand. And instead of the dining over here, some of my clients will shift the dining over to the balcony, and because basically the balcony also takes up the width of the house itself. Okay, and it comes with a yard area. It also comes with a study. Of course, it's a 3 plus study. This study, I would say, it's a flexi room. It can be a helper's quarter. It can be extra storage if your home shelter is not enough per se. Okay, coming in, you have 10 square meters for a common room. About 14 square meters. I would think about, maybe they included the toilet lah. I think about 11 square meters for the second bedroom is very generous in room sizes. So in short, the 3 bedroom premium and the 3 plus study has very generous room sizes. However, of course, the pricing wise is also pretty generous. We are looking at a 3 premium at 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 million, and a 3 plus study at 3.159 million, which probably at this pricing, you can get close to a 4 bedroom at the Ori, because the Ori 4 bedroom is 1216 square feet. Okay, finally, the 4 bedroom. As I mentioned, the 4 bedroom has a very generous size of 1410 square feet, and this presents a very probably an unseen option, or probably an option that you can get in the older condos in this area, the Semico area. However, the amount of reno and reshuffling of the house needed to be done, I think that might turn some of the buyers off. Whereas as compared to what has already been built by developer, walk in to the house, a wide frontage layout, kitchen and yard together. Okay, comes with a study on the left before bedroom 4, which is 11 square meters. On the left of bedroom 4 is bedroom 3 at 10 square meters, and one of your bedroom, which is a bedroom 2, looks like definitely it is a junior master. It is already 17 square meters, and the master room is 20 square meters. I think this kind of configuration, I feel, typically could target people that wants to choose a landed house in Semico area, or even down a bit to Tai Tong area at Potong Pasir, but yet they can't reach to that quantum plus renovation of maybe 4.5 to $5 million. And henceforth, their next better option is to come to the Arcady, and the layout is already done up for them. And also perch on the higher floor, south facing, you can also see you have also an unblocked view down towards the city area. Okay, with this, that will be the end of my discussion with every one of you. Thanks for listening to my talk on the Arcady. I have presented from the supply analysis of what is in this area. The older condos are relatively older, easily close to 30 years old. The proximity to the MRT, Boon Keng MRT, which is quite rare, because I have buyers that have been trying to look for a place at Boon Keng, but basically there is no condo available other than 8 Riversuites that is nearest to the Boon Keng MRT, yet it's leasehold. And then we also talk about the exit strategies over there. Having said, like, examples that has been done, the link at Beauty World, perfect profitability, solid profitability performance. We have Foret at Bukit Timah, also surrounded by a lot of older condos like Signature Park, for instance, Creek at Bukit, if I'm not wrong. Okay, yet being far, two bus stops away, Foret still perform pretty well. So there is a certain demand for, even though slightly smaller units but newer condos just TOP'd. And also, I have also run through with you my unit selection. If you capture from the unit selection, based on the layout type, and if you capture a value buy, I think you you have probably definitely value from this video. Okay, so if you want to find out more about the Arcady, or if you want me to compare between Arcady and the upcoming launches like the Rory or what has been launched post-launch before, feel free to reach out to me. My contact number should be at the caption below. More than happy to discuss with you. That should be all. Thank you very much for listening to my second video on YouTube, and I will see you in my third video. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.